Hello students and welcome to a new episode. This is Target English Grade 9 covering episode 15 Module 2 Unit 4 in which we will be focusing mainly on grammar. In today's episode we will look at three different topics in grammar. We will be looking at the present continuous for future, the past continuous, and we will also revise the present simple and the past simple which we took in a previous episode. So let's start. Starting with the present continuous for future, we are going to look at examples and how to form the present continuous for future. Let's look at the following picture. What are you doing after school? That's a present continuous question. I'm buying tickets for Saturday's match. Notice the pattern here. Are you doing? I am buying. So when do we use exactly the present continuous? We use the present continuous to talk about fixed arrangement in the near future. So you've already planned this arrangement that will happen in the near future. It's a fixed arrangement. So it is also used to talk about the future when an action or situation is part of a plan, an arrangement, or an intention. Let's look at the following examples. Ahmed, what are you doing tomorrow evening? Ali replies, I'm going to the theater. Notice with me the pattern here. What are you doing? I am going. Follow up with me so we can understand how do we form the present continuous sentences and questions. Are you meeting your friends tomorrow morning? Yes, we are going out for a walk. So what's the pattern that you noticed in the examples that we've took? Good. So your sentences start or include verb to be and verb plus ing. So you have two parts to your sentence, verb to be and verb ing. Now verb to be, let's go over the basics. So each pronoun, which form of verb to be does it take? So we know that I takes am, he, she, it take is, they, we, you take are. I am, he is, she is, it is, they are, we are, you are. That's the first part of your sentence. What about the verb ing? It is basically any verb and you add an ing, an ending to it. Now, with the present continuous for future, there are some keywords that you need to know that indicate it's a present continuous sentence because it's happening in the near future. These keywords are tonight. So tonight is very close. It's in the near future. Tomorrow, later, and next. Whenever you see any of these words, you would understand that it is a present continuous sentence. If I want to write a positive present continuous sentence, how do I do that? Well, I start with the subject, followed by either am, is, or are, which are parts of verb to be, followed by verb plus ing. Let's look at this example. I am traveling tomorrow. Did you see how we added ing to the verb here? Another example. My brother is arriving next week. So my brother takes the form is from verb to be. Arriving, we added ing to the verb arrive next week. It's in the near future. Another example. I am attending my sister's wedding party tomorrow. So this is another event happening in the near future. Can you locate the verb to be? Exactly, it is am in our sentence. What about the verb plus ing? Good job, attending. We added ing to the verb attend. What if I want to write a negative sentence? Well, I do one thing. I add one thing to the same present continuous sentence, which is not. So again, we start with the subject, followed by am, is, or are, not. Then verb plus ing. So what did we add here? We added not to make it a negative sentence. Let's look at this example. We are not having a test tomorrow. So I can see that it's a negative sentence here. What about questions? I want to ask a question in the present continuous. What do? I start with question words. You either have what, when, why, where, and how. You have to start with a question word, followed by verb to be, either am, is, or are, followed by pronouns, I, you, he, she, it, we, and they, and finally verb ing. Let's form a question on the following sentence. The boys are going on a school trip next week. Can we form a question? Yes. So what do we start with? Excellent. We start with a question word. When are the boys going on a school trip? Let's look at the sentence in detail. Our question word here is when. Where is our form of verb to be? Are. Good. What about the boys? Excellent. They are the noun. And going is our verb ing. Now it's time to practice. So look at this task that you can find in your student book, page 37. So you are required to correct the verbs between brackets. Let's look at number 1. Ibrahim, I leave to Turkey after work today. Can you correct the sentence? You're going to have two parts, verb to be and verb ing. Excellent. I am leaving to Turkey after work today because we know that I takes am. Number 2, Olivia, my family arrived early in the morning. Present continuous. My family is arriving early in the morning. Number 3, Henry, we not prepare our suitcases tomorrow. Notice not here, so I know it's a negative sentence. What am I going to do? I'm going to add not to form a complete sentence. So the answer will be, we aren't or we are not preparing our suitcases tomorrow. Good job. Number 4, Samira, I go to the airport to pick up my cousins tomorrow. If you want to correct it, the answer will be, I am going to the airport to pick up my cousins tomorrow. Good job. Now that we've covered the present continuous, we are going to look at the past continuous tense. It is the same idea for both tenses, but there are some slight differences. Let's read the following situations. When we were sitting in the park, so it's in the past, it began to rain. Look at the two parts of the sentence. What were you doing when I called you? Again, focus on the pattern here, were and doing. I was talking to my brother. I was talking. Now, when do we use the past continuous tense? Well, you use the past continuous tense to describe an action or event in a time before now. So it's an action in the past, which began in the past and was still going on when another event occurred. So, in simpler words, in the past, there was a longer action that you were doing was stopped or cut by a shorter action. For example, I was watching the TV when my mother called me. So, where is the longer action here? I was watching TV is the longer action. What's the shorter action that interrupted me watching TV? My mother called me. Let's look at the form of the past continuous tense. Again, you start with verb to be, but for the past, followed by verb ing. So, verb to be for the past, do you remember? Yes. So, I, he, she, it take was from verb to be, and they, we, you take were from verb to be. So, you have was and were. Now, with past continuous, again, there are keywords that indicate whether the sentence is a past continuous sentence. These include when and while, and it is important to use them in your past continuous sentences. So let's look at a positive sentence and how to form a positive past continuous sentence. You start with your subject, followed by was or were, followed by verb ing. For example, I was talking to my brother. See how we added ing to the verb here? Let's look at another example. My brother was doing his homework when the phone rang. Do you see the two actions here? What is the longer action here? My brother was doing his homework, that's the longer action. What about the short action? The phone rang. And do you notice any keywords in the sentence? Yes, we have when, which is a keyword for the past continuous. So my brother was doing, was is our verb to be, doing, verb plus ing. Now we come to forming our negative past continuous sentences. How do we do that? Again, the same idea. You add one thing, which is not, with your verb to be. So we have subject, was, were, not, verb ing. For example, we were not playing when it rained. Now we want to form questions with the past continuous. How do we do that? We start with question words, what, when, why, where, and how, followed by verb to be, either was or were, followed by noun or a pronoun, and finally verb ing. Form a question about the picture. So what do you see here? Students in a science lab studying. So what question can you form? Good. What were they doing in the lab? A past continuous question. What is our question word? We started with that. Were is our verb to be. They, pronoun, doing, verb ing. Good job. Now let's practice. You can find this task in your workbook page 16. It tells you to complete the story either using the past simple or the past continuous. Let's read it together. The day I meet my best friend. Let's correct the verb here. So that's our title. The day I met my best friend. Good. It be the first day of my secondary school. It was the first day of my new secondary school. Number 3. I walked to school on my own. I was walking to school on my own. Okay, so the past continuous here. Number 4. I think about the new teachers and students I would meet when suddenly I see someone across the road. Which tense are you going to use and how are you going to correct the verb? Good. I was thinking about the new teachers and students I would meet when suddenly I saw someone across the road. So 2 actions here. Longer action interrupted by a shorter action. She waved at me. What was she doing? She was waving at me. I stopped to talk to her. So I stopped. Excellent. She said, I live in your street. I talked to your mother and she told me you start school today. Let's correct the verbs here. I talked to your mother. Good job. And she told me you started school today. The past simple. Last sentence. I come to the school last year. Would you like me to show you around? And we have been best friends since that day. So come would be excellent. I came to the school last year. Good job. Now let's revise some tenses which you can find in your workbook page 16. Complete the postcard by circling the correct answer. This is a letter or an email written to Ahmed. Dear Ahmed, I enjoy or am enjoying my holiday in London. I am enjoying my holiday in London. Good job. We are visiting all the famous places. Which one? We are visiting all the famous places. Yesterday, we went or were going to Covent Garden Market. So that's in the past. Happened already. Yesterday, we went. Good job. Here, you always see or are seeing lots of interesting actors. You always see. Good job. One man wore or was wearing silver clothes. Excellent. Was wearing. He stood, was standing so still. He was standing so still. I thought, was thinking he was a statue. I thought, you thought, and you've done from this action already. He was a statue. I walked, was walking away when suddenly he was putting his hand on my shoulder. Let's break this sentence one by one. I walked, was walking away, and something happened. So which one is it? I was walking, exactly, past continuous. When suddenly he, the short action cut my longer action, he put his hand on my shoulder. I screamed or was screaming. I screamed. Good job. Then I was seeing everyone laughing. Then I saw everyone laughing. Finally, I felt, was feeling so embarrassed. I felt. Good job. So it's a feeling that you felt. Let's look at your workbook, page 16. Complete the questions and answers. Use the present simple or present continuous for these questions. Let's do number 1 and 2 together. Use the present simple or present continuous. Number 1, why blank the police blank that car? You have the verb follow. Because the man in the car blank too fast drive. So what's the answer going to be? Why is the police following that car? Good. Because the man in the car is driving too fast. Good job. Number 2, how blank your brother blank with his studies? Verb do. He blank very hard. You have the verb work. So how, we're going to use the present continuous, is your brother doing with his studies? Excellent job. He is working very hard. Good job. In this episode, we were able to use the present continuous for future arrangements. We practiced using the past continuous, and we revised the present simple and the past simple tense. And thank you for watching.